The Atlanta Hawks are 10-34 as I'm recording this on Tuesday night, and they're sitting at the bottom of the Eastern Conference despite having a young, exciting group led by Trae Young. Part of the problem is that their defense is awful. It's, I think, the third worst in points per game given up in the whole league. And also part of the problem, granted, is that Trae Young was out for a couple games, but that doesn't really change their record being this atrocious. But I want to talk about not so much how bad they are or what they're doing wrong, but I want to talk about them being in trade rumors, especially trade rumors circulating Andre Drummond. I think it is a really, emphasis on really, really bad idea. Andre Drummond won't do much for that team and will kill their salary cap. It's pretty simple. But even generally, for any trade that they're thinking about doing, you have a young group and potentially a top 5 pick for the draft this year. Your leader is 21 years old and Trae Young. Give it time. All you can do for now is give these guys, your young players, the tools to improve their game, and along with veteran mentorship. That's all you can give them. And that's the best thing that you can do for them right now. Just let them grow on their own with their, with their trainer, and just give them a veteran presence who right now is Vince Carter to, walk them through it and get them through the league. Just let them develop naturally. Don't try to force it on them to be some megastar right off the bat, especially Trae Young. And I know it's really, really tempting to look at Luka Doncic and look what he's doing, and they're in the playoffs, and it's the Western Conference, and oh my god, he has a winning record too, and it's Kristaps Porzingis, who they traded for, and you're thinking like, oh, you know what, if you get Andre Drummond, we'll be right there in the Eastern Conference, which is a bit easier. But don't fall into that. Different things work for different people and teams. Give it time. If you just give it time, let it develop, so the Atlanta Hawks will be just fine. If you try to rush it, it's going to be nasty. The worst thing for the Hawks is to trade away significant young players, young pieces, for temporary success in what could be an Andre Drummond or some other player who is quite expensive. In trying to get to the playoffs, trying to get that playoff experience, which is good, but at the same time, it's temporary success that you get into the playoffs and then you get bounced out. That's what the Pistons had for quite some time, even though they brought in Blake Griffin. They have success for the regular season. They get 42-40, get into the playoffs, and get swept. And eventually, after time, your fans are like, no. We see the writing on the walls. No. We don't like it. Dynasties aren't built through drafting one guy, hoping he's a superstar, and then the next year bringing in, via trade, some other guy. No. The Mavericks are trying to do that. That's not going to be a dynasty. That's not. I love Doncic. I love Kristaps. That's not going to be a dynasty until they let those guys develop and mature. But those are young guys, not Andre Drummond, who's been on the older end. No. Dynasties are built through the draft and developing them for long-term success. Look at the Warriors. Built through the draft, ended up after winning a championship, losing the next one, bringing in KD, won the next two. It's built through the draft with Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green. Those three guys. It takes a lot of patience to build a really, really good team. The Spurs, prime example, built through the draft. Parker, Ginobili, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, built through the draft. So I think what the Hawks need to do is just take it slow. Breathe. Just take a breath. And don't do a trade, because that will only be temporary success rather than the long-term success that your organization can have if you just have patience.